Thank you, Mr. Mangicho, and viewers of PowerPlay. It's important to mention that corruption continues to permeate every sector of our society. Bribery and stealing from public coffers continue to take a huge toll on our lives. See, for example, what we are being told happened last year, that the residence, that is the official residence of the Deputy President in Karen, has been renovated, or is supposed to be renovated with about 600 million shillings. This is a structure which was done a few years ago, less than 100 million shillings. You're renovating a structure which was constructed with 500 million shillings with 600 million shillings. What does that say? Are you overhauling the entire structure? Are you bringing down the entire building and rebuilding it afresh? What is the explanation for renovating a structure? Are you building bunkers to protect the Deputy President in the event that there is a nuclear attack on the residence? What is the justification for this? The only justification is this: the bill of quantities and the payments that are being made are exaggerated for purposes of redirecting that money elsewhere. This is collusion between the accounting officers in the office of the Deputy President and the contractors, so that they make money, they extract millions of money from renovation of the office of the Deputy President and other offices in the Republic of Kenya. It is, in other words, it is official stealing. This is licensed stealing. That is what we are talking about when we talk about the state of corruption in this country. You see, the president goes into a Catholic church in Nairobi, and somebody offers about 13 million shillings, about 5 million shillings. The salary of the president is less than 2 million shillings. This is not the only contribution that he makes in a month. This is not the only contribution that he makes in a Sunday. He makes a lot more contributions. Where is this money coming from? Which companies is the president running? Which factories is the president running? It tells you that there is so much cash up there that is being diverted and that is being used for other purposes. We've seen friends of the president making huge donations. Several members of parliament associated with the president, several senators associated with the president are making crazy donations in various functions, including church functions. Where is this money coming from? It tells you that there is so much illicit cash that is around the friends of the president. And the only explanation is that this is a function of cartelism. There is something they are doing with public coffers so that they are able to extract money. To answer your question, therefore, on matters of corruption and bribery, it looks to me like there is no political will from the presidency and the executive to reduce corruption in this country. This problem is compounded by the fact that the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution, one of the weakest offices we've had in this country since the enactment of this constitution today, has very little political will, very little constitutional will to fight corruption, to scale down corruption. And that is why I'm reading in the newspapers that the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution was trying to withdraw a case against a former state officer who used forged degree certificates, the first degree and master's. The court declined the withdrawal of the case because the court thought that this was not in the best public interest. It tells you that the Office of the Directorate of Public Prosecution is now doing skullduggery on matters of fighting corruption. It means that this office is now collecting bribes. It is colluding with people who've committed serious crimes to have those crimes silenced and to have the court silenced. That is why I think when we started, I rated the judiciary at 45%, with the executive 30% and parliament at 10%. The judiciary has tried. We've seen a court in this country convict a governor because of conflict of interest and a few other things. We've seen several courts in this country convict members of parliament. This is the court that we need. I know a lot more has been done, a lot more is going to be done, but we have a better judiciary, we have a more robust judiciary. If the executive was going to scale up, if the presidency was going to be truthful to itself, if the Office of the Directorate of Public Prosecution was going to be revamped, and the only way you can revamp the Office of the Directorate of Public Prosecution is to remove ransom Ngonga, because there's nothing he's doing there. He's just taking instructions from politicians and being compromised by serious criminals in this country. So the problem is a problem of lack of political will in fighting corruption and bribery. There is no will, absolutely. The biggest, the executive is the biggest beneficiary now of corruption and bribery. And that is why we saw the presidency, we saw his friend Raila Amolo Odinga, we've seen the energy, CS, we've seen them defending Adani. Adani, which has now been accused of massive bribes against state officers in other countries. They defended them and said they had the capacity, they had the wherewithal, and it was the only company that could address the challenges that we have in JKIA, that we have with Ketraco, that we have with the energy sector. I think the president and those who advise the president have to have a conversation with themselves, tell themselves the truth, and decide if this country is going to pursue the line that they are now pursuing, that of using cash to compromise institutions, that of extracting money from public coffers to bastardize institutions like Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, Directorate of Public Prosecution, and other institutions. Otherwise, as it is, I have no hope today that the current executive is going to scale down on corruption and bribery in this country. Thank you, Mangicho Mola, and I think this is very important for the viewers of Power Play. The last 2 years for this country has been extremely challenging, very challenging in the sense that we've seen attempts to scale up taxation. We've seen attempts in the last 2 years to collect more from the taxpayer through the affordable housing levy, through the social health insurance fund, through SHA, through NSSF. We've seen scaled contributions. We even saw earlier on attempts to enhance VAT on petroleum. We saw the finance bill of 2024, which was rejected by the people of Kenya, trying to expand the number or the remit of taxes. What we've not seen is accountability on the side of the executive. We've not seen the judiciary reducing the timelines on the cases before them. We have seen Parliament prosecuting bizarre bills. Now they want to say in the next election, hopefully, the media is not going to air results live. In whose interest is this legislation being prosecuted in Parliament? Are they prosecuting it for Kenyans? Are they prosecuting it for the big people in power? It tells you that we have a Parliament that is living a lie. You have a Parliament that is actually a gun for hire. You have a Parliament that is saying now going into the future, even wild animals are going to be categorized as livestock. And if you have a cow that has calved, Mr. Mangicho Mola and viewers, you are going to register. You are going to go to some office and say, I now have a calf. Please register. This girl was born on the 28th of November 2024. This tells you that the Parliament that we have is now a gun for hire. This is an extended intestine for the executive. It wants to collect money. It wants to collect as much money from the people without regard to the welfare of the people. What projects are being mounted where? What projects are being completed where? There's no project that is ongoing at the moment across the country apart from the housing, which is being financed by the affordable housing levy. There's no other project that is being witnessed across the country. And that is why I said this government has not done well, but it's important to mention that the president has shown energy. The president is all over the country interacting with the people. Number two, we've asked the subsidized fertilizer, which has seen enhanced production agriculturally in terms of maize, in terms of tea, coffee, and we only need to make sure that the pricing is better. These are areas that the president and this government have tried. They need to do better. But generally, on a scale of 1 out of 10, you would very easily give the president perhaps 5 out of 10. And that is why when 2027 comes, and that is why the clouds are now gathering across the country, the president is going to have a big challenge getting a re-election. And when you talk about Omtata has a track record of challenging government decisions. I think among us the rest, he stands shoulder high because of his reform credentials. As to whether he has the metallurgy, as to whether he has the gravitas to be the president, that is something that is going to be answered by Kenyans. Matiang'i was the CS Interior. So many people were killed and damned at River Yala as the CS Interior. He also has explanations on what really happened, and that is why I could very easily consider him to be in the same category of people who are abducting people in this government. Matiang'i belongs to this government. What he did, what this government is doing of abducting people, enforced disappearances, and politically instigated murders, politically instigated disappearances, which the security apparatus, which is well-funded, cannot explain. That is where Matiang'i belongs. I don't think he stands any better chance considering his past. The Gen Z certainly is going to swing this election where the Gen Zs are going to be. And Gen Zs are not tribal. We've seen them in Botswana. We are following them in Namibia. We've seen them in the United States of America, where the Gen Zs will stand. And I have said they are not ethnic, they are not regional. These Gen Zs are not, they are not lopsided. They are very objective. They want employment. They want a better working environment, a better business environment. They want integrity. They want good governance. Where they will stand is where the future of this country is going to be. So, Mr. Mangicho Mola and viewers, 2027 is going to be hot because Kenyans are going to vote for integrity and good governance.
Wakili Kipwech Ngetich, thank you so much for making time on Power Play. We really appreciate this discussion and the very, very candid points that you've given, which we believe our viewer will benefit from.
Thank you so much, Mangicho Mola. It was a pleasure. It is nice interacting with the viewers of Power Play.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.